Hello. Hello, hello. We've got people here. This is a very fancy way to do live compared to Facebook because I can schedule it. And then when I go to say, yes, I'm ready to start, it tells me that there's people waiting. That's just amazing. Okay, so let's see if I can make this work. I'm not sure if I can tonight because the iPad is a little bit grumpy. But let's see what we can do. So, we can see and hear you, Shimelle. Hi. I'm glad that you can see and hear me. Okay. So, I'm only going to be live for half an hour tonight. And we're going to see if I can continue to see the chat. Yes, Harmony, you are here, and I am actually live. Well done. And the other question about evening lives is always that do we end up with enough bandwidth to make this work? But so far so good. It doesn't look too blurry or pixelated on my monitor, so I think we're okay. So I want to mostly answer questions, and I'm going to take you through a little bit of quick planning that's a follow-on from this morning. So just a quick catch-up for those of you who were not here this morning for the earlier live. So today, for the earlier live, I did a chapter kit, and by a chapter, I mean a section of my album where everything kind of goes together to tell one particular story. And in this case, it was the 10 layouts that I want to make with the 100 Acre Wood photos. And instead of making 10 individual page kits, I've made one big kit that I should be able to get nearly all of the layouts. I'd be able to get nearly all of the layouts out of what's in this. But the way I did it was to go through, I started with the existing kits I had, which was, what did I end up with in the end? About six partially used Studio Calico kits, and I went through them and started pulling out what would work and what wouldn't work. But that also means that I have looked at all of the things that I didn't put in as well. And so I had some things that were offcuts. Well, as it goes, one of the things that I put back was stuff that was kind of circus themed. And I already knew that I had 2 circus themed events. So it would be daft not to just pounce on that, right? So I already had these printed yesterday. They were in the options of what I could kit yesterday. And this is what is left of that circus themed kit. So I'm going to make 2 page kits because these are both circus themed. They are both the same, he's wearing the same clothes, but they are 2 separate events. This one is a 40th birthday party, and this one is a third birthday party. I had to think for a second there. From the same summer though. So let's figure out what would work best for each one. I'm going to start with these die cuts. I'm going to be making 2. Stephanie, I don't know what magic I did to make the chat jump to your TV, but I'm so glad that I could do that for you. Okay, so these are the die cuts that I've got. Oh, I was going to keep the lion because there's another photo that I don't have here right this second of him in live. Okay, so maybe I'm making 3 kits. I think I'll make the rest of that one later, but I will put the lion one there. Let's see what looks like best bet. I am feeling like this is a better match to this one, and this can come over here with this. Should we put both of these in this one? I think so, because they're pretty, they both have that yellow. Okay, so there's my starting point with that. What do we think? Which one is going to go better with pink? That or this? Oops, wrong way. I feel like this one. So we've got that and that. I wanted this to work here, but I'm not feeling like this is as circusy. It's not really circus themed. I feel like this is pretty chaotic for busy photos anyway. It needs to be calmer. Okay, so I still am not going to end up using that piece of paper on this day. Okay, but then I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of these kits up. Okay, what do we got here? Let's just check comments. Hopefully I can see them. Britt is making page kits while you watch. That's brilliant. And Angela says we must have subbed to Studio Calico at the same time because you also have this kit. Well, I was never a subscriber. I prefer to buy kits on a one-off, and with Studio Calico, they don't do the 12x12 kits now, which is a bummer. But what I would do is I would wait for their like Black Friday sales, and then they would bring them all down to £5, and I would buy like 8. I'd bring them down to $5, and I'd buy like 8. Yeah. So that's how I have all of my Studio Calico kits. I bought them all in the sale for ridiculously cheap. That's what I did. It sometimes meant that you didn't get to pick what you were getting. It was just luck of the draw. But that worked well for me. Okay. I feel like this needs some blue to go with it. So I'm going to go for some blue in here somewhere. I'm just looking at my papers. See what I can find. I'm going to go for Sassafras. Black Friday, check. Yes. Black Friday is a good day to shop for scrapbooking. That whole weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of that. Ooh, this is nice. And a good match. Yeah. See, you just gotta pick something up and see what you find. This is kind of cool. It's very circusy. Yeah, I like that. Let's have all the colors. See, and then I have things that look more vintagey from Studio Calico, from Sassafras. I'm wondering about this one for the other set though, so I'm going to pull that out. Like that. Oh, and my chat window has just died. It will restart in a moment. So let's have a look. Anything else that might have the right feel with this? This is going to mix white and cream, but I think it's going to work because there's both white and cream in the photo too. The walls are cream. Their tops are white. It's Christmassy. This is old school sassafras. Single-sided. Okay. Beautiful autumn papers. This is not for these photos, but I'm going to put this on the top of the stack. I do this sometimes. Because I want to use that like with some autumn photos that I take like this week or something. You know, if it stops raining. Anything else here? Oh, there was one that was very stars and things. Come back. I think it might be a little too vintagey. Yeah, more vintage, less circus. Okay, nearly to the end of that stack there. So I think I go to something else. Oh, you know what? There's literal circus here too. The very next page on the sheet, on the shelf, was this, which is clowns. Let's have clown paper. Why not? Okay. So this is looking like this. Let's see. Clowns, music, stripes. Is that white? I think it's going to need something else with a white. So, oh, it needs like a white rainbow stripe. And you know what? I have that. I have that in my new collection. So where can I get it? Here. Should be in this stack of things somewhere. it is. There it is. There it is. That matches her shirt. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to start back up. Oh, not quite yet. And somewhere here, I have the transparencies that are going with this. You're probably seeing them on the desk and I'm not. Where'd they go? Yeah, they're here. Okay. So I've got those balloons. What do those balloons look like on the white stripe? Because right now on all those patterns are looking really busy. But they'll work on there. Okay. I think that white back, that's going to be the background. So then we've got all those papers still there. We've got those transparencies. Fan them out so I can see what I need to match stuff. And I need some lettering. I've got some white letters here. I wonder if any of these white gray sheets might be a good match. Let's see. We have got these. Yeah. What would I use? I got a happy. Yes, I have happy on this one. And then I can use other letters for something like birthday, because, you know, I'm being exceptionally original in the title for this page. My iPad is coming back to life now, so I'll be able to see your chat again shortly. Can I spell anything from these? Definitely not birthday. So let's see what we've got. That might work because that color is popping up a few times. And these, which always feel very circusy to me. Probably won't use both of those next to each other, but that gives me the option. Okay. Right. I think I have chat back. Let's see. Yes, okay. So the bear balancing on the ball reminds you of the unicycle photos. That is true. I could keep that for the unicycle, but I will carry on it as I am for the moment. Come on. Right. Have you said already how many pages were on your list total? No, and I don't think I even totaled it up. I'll have a look at and tell you in our next live, which is Tuesday. Is that all of the Sassafras paper you have left? No, that was about a third of it. Do you ever create a page kit and then when you're working with the kit plus photos realize you don't like it? Do you pitch the whole kit and start over, or do you power through with the kit you created? And if I got halfway through and I wasn't liking it, I would just take off whatever I don't like and start again. Yeah. If I'm not liking it, I don't ever power through. Don't do it. And a couple weeks ago I did with one of the Facebook Lives that exact thing happened. I started it and I thought I had an idea of where it was going, and I was looking at it and I went, nope, I just don't like it. I don't like this at all. And I tore it up and started again. I didn't like literally tear it up, but I made big changes in the layout to make it something that I would enjoy. So yeah, to me there's nothing to be gained by powering through and working with stuff that I don't like or that I don't feel is working. No, move it up, move it around, change it up, find a way to make it stay happy. Okay. The more I look at those letters, I think I'm not going to use these, but I'm going to keep them in there just in case, because you know if I say I'm not, then I probably will want. gonna find something that matches that clown and that balloon. And let's see. These are not the right color. No, those are too green. I pull those buttons out all the time and they're never the right match. That's okay. Let's see, I'm going to take a big wad out of this basket. No. This looks promising. These are the right kind of colors. This is a washi tape book. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and stick that whole thing in there. I want some tucky type things like this one. That. This could be nice. Color. Don't think the Amy ones would be the right style. However, there is black here, and I would like some label-y type things. Worth a look. No, I don't think that's going to be the right one. This one. I like it when I find little word strips that might have more than one meaning. So it's a birthday cake, so the sweetness could be the sweetness, but the birthday girl could also be the sweetness. That's lovely. These three little hearts in there as scattering pieces. These are mostly a little bit too busy for this. However, I'm going to use this. Both of these little tickets. I've got one because tickets to the circus, but also she's 3, and I have an admit 1, admit 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Oh, those look promising. I think I will just pop that whole set in there. And hey, there's the blue that I wanted to match, and there's a little bit of orange there too. So all of that can go in. And I put a little bit of gold in here already. And these are some gold letters. Let's put all of that there. Okay. What have I got covered then? Plenty of things to scatter. Plenty of letters. Plenty of tuckies. Plenty of papers. That's pretty much all I need. I'll definitely end up putting gold mist on this layout. I have that birthday stamp, or not birthday, circus stamp set if I wanted to repeat this. But I have just put it in the 100 Acre Wood Kit, so I can remember that. If you would not remember that and it would bother you, just write a note, put it in there. And that's going to be that page kit. All right, let's see if I can get the chat back up again. Not yet, so I'm going to stand on the bucket to read the chat. And how long did that take? Yeah. So basically we're now to question time. And just to give you an idea, this one, I might think about this a bit more. I'm not sure if I love this the most or not. So sometimes, especially when it's evening like this, I might leave this on my desk just like this. I'll put this one away in its page protector, and I'll leave this on my desk like this so that it's the first thing I see in the morning, last thing when I leave my desk, first thing in the morning. We'll see what happens. It's also something I'm going to lose when we move to the new space because I don't think my desk is going to stay out all the time. Okay, let's see what we got. Any questions? Can I see the chat on here? There we go. Are inks and mists just something you have on hand all the time, or do you select them as well per kit? I almost always use the same colors, so they are in with my I put them in with my my necessary supplies, my scissors, my adhesive, and then just basics. So I normally have my gold mist and sometimes white. I normally would have a gray and a brown ink pad, and then if I needed to scrap elsewhere, I might pack a few other colors if I really thought I needed to, but otherwise I might just limit myself to stamping in black, gray and brown. Is there a reason that I cut bits out rather than put the whole booklet into the kit? Yes, because I won't necessarily use that kit tomorrow. I might, but I have a few options now which one I can do for tomorrow's live. But sometimes it might sit there for a couple weeks, a couple months, and I don't want to take an entire thing out. Like, wasn't this the only one that I cut out of one book? So it's not worth me taking the whole book and taking that out of my potential making supplies when I just have this one sticker that I want to use. Also, if you are limited on space for your stash, that can lead you into a very false mindset where you get stuck if you go shopping. So like if I say I had taken one sticker from each of these 4 books, and instead of taking them out, I just put these in. Look how much room just came out of my basket. So as I'm searching through, I'm going, oh, I have loads of room. I could buy 4 new sticker books. But I can't, because I need to be able to put these back. So that's what works for me, is to just take the ones I want. Now, if I was going to use lots, or there were lots of things that I could use, like the whole thing seemed to coordinate it, then I put the whole one in. So that's what I've done here, because I've got quite a few options there that might work. And I don't feel like I need to make a decision right now. I think there's quite a lot that could be handy. Let me give this one more try. We are almost finished. Uh-oh, where'd you go? See? Come on, come on. There we go. Okay. I remember you doing a lot of stamped and watercolored titles. Do you predominantly use letter stickers now, or is it 50-50, whatever you feel like? It's probably not 50-50. It's never been 50-50, really. But I do still do a lot of titles that I've made either with stamps and ink, or with watercolors, or any other painting medium and a brush, or cutting them out on the silhouette or something like that. But I always start with letter stickers. It's always my go-to. It's been my go-to for a long, long time. And then sometimes I might mix the hand lettered stuff or the stamp stuff in with them. Yeah. Any other questions I can ask before we sign off for tonight? See if I can take a quick look over to the forum. If I can remember how to do that. See if there are any questions posted there. Oh, maybe. Oh, Allison says she can't chat. I don't know of any workarounds for being able to chat straight in YouTube, Allison, but if you have any questions, you could always post them just like you did that comment, and I will always try to check that before I sign off to make sure I've covered all the questions that are posted on the forum. And there were a couple little things posted on the forum after the 1 p.m. The 1 p.m. one. Okay, so there was a question that said, I was wondering if you ever wrote your journaling at the same time that you write the list of topics and stories to tell. Do I journal in advance at all? And the bus sheet that I put into the kit earlier today. So yeah, the big kit has a piece of paper from this notepad. The London bus is a non sequitur. It was just a piece of paper. And I had transferred the list of 10 things from that list that I showed you on my computer to a piece of paper so that I could just stick it in the kit. The reason for that was because I had all the photos, all the 4x6 photos for the 10 pages, and I wasn't sure if I would remember kind of what my plan was for which ones were going together in sets and stuff like that. And also I wanted to remind myself that I had planned 2 pages with A4 photos which haven't arrived yet, and so I had put that note, but none of it had journaling. It was just kind of like dragging poo is going to be a layout. That's not going to be the title. It was just kind of a note to help me organize the photos. So I do put notes like that. Sometimes I do journal in advance. Sometimes I journal in a journal. Sometimes I journal on scrap paper. Sometimes I journal on a computer. Sometimes I journal on my phone, and then transfer those notes. A lot of the time, that sort of thing is what you are getting edited out of a recorded video, something like YouTube, because my notes might be in, just some messy bit of paper that's been in my handbag for 6 months, and I pull it out, and if there was something that I did write at the time, then I put it on my layout. However, if you are not someone who is drawn to writing all the time, I would not fret about that. If you enjoy writing, and writing is cathartic for you, and it helps you process your thoughts, that's why I write on little bits of paper everywhere and in journals and all sorts of places. It's because I have words going through my head and I need to get them out, or they will just circle around my mind until I get them out. And so if you're not somebody who needs to get them out, don't worry about it. If you think you're going to forget the memory, then go ahead and write it down. Things that people say that you want to remember, that's definitely worth writing down, because I find that that's something that can, like, you can get the wording, even the very next day you go to tell the story and you're like, this was funnier yesterday, and I can't remember the exact words. So something like that. And then there was one last question that Mars asked, which was, just to be sure, what's your definition of a chapter? So these are not chapter, these are individual page kits, and a chapter in my album means a section that's going to be, it's not going to be a whole album, it's going to be a section of an album where all the stories go together from one event or one kind of short time frame. So like this album is going to have a chapter on the 100 Acre Wood. That was one day. There'll also be a camping chapter in this set of albums. There'll be a Disneyland chapter, a Kansas City chapter, a Boston chapter, because those are all going to be groups of pages that come together to tell the story of that thing. Okay, right, let's see. Any other questions on this chat? And then I think we're done. Come on, anything else here? Come on, iPad. You can keep up. We can do it. Okay. Right. Oh, lots. Okay, I heard you say just cut the pretty paper for years now, and while it has helped, I still struggle with it. I think it's because my budget is so low for scrapping, but also I'm a perfectionist. Okay, if your budget is low, then tell me this. What part of your budget is going toward paper sitting and getting dusty on a shelf, or stickers sitting, getting dusty for a shelf. I'm not going to talk about that further today. I want you to sit with that thought and we'll come back to it next time. But yeah, if your budget is limited, I think that is even more reason to use what you buy. Okay. Sophia says, I find it helps me sometimes to use the paper I truly love so much that I would hate to cut it as the background paper. Yep, that's definitely a good thing. And I have a lot of sketches and page designs I use where I might only use 1/3 of the page for adding stuff so that I can have 2/3 of the page just be that really pretty paper that I like. Okay, is that everything? I feel like there was more. Maybe not. Okay. Using the basic gray is nerve-wracking. Is that because you can't replace it? Yeah, because it's not being made anymore. Right. Okay. Any more last-minute questions? Anything else? I think we're good. Just one last check to make sure. Yeah, okay. I haven't anything else. Okay, so the next live video for class is on Tuesday, and the times are all in there. Please double check. I had to amend the times just a little bit because the Wednesday was originally at 8:30 and I can't do Wednesday 8:30. I've had to move that and move another one to 8:30. So if you haven't looked yesterday or today, please go double check that live times. Okay, any other things? I do have a live video that will be a scrapping video, not a planning video, tomorrow morning. But if you're using this time zone, unless you are here in England and not working tomorrow, I wouldn't expect that both of those time zones or both of those time frames would work for you. But you can always watch it on the replay later. So that will be on Facebook. I'll put a link to it in the forum too. And that's going to be with one of the page kits you've seen me pack. And that'll be at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Okay. It's true. You'd be surprised. Carol says some online stores still have basic gray. You can find it in stores that have old stock, because not all stores are about the hip new trend, and not all of them are worried about pushing through a pack of paper in a month. They are quite happy for it to sit on the shelf. The other way you can find old stash is to go to Facebook groups and say what you're looking for, because there are lots of scrapbookers who have big collections and don't really know what to do with it and would be quite happy to sell or pass on their stash that they have held on to for a long time. Okay. In fact, do you remember somebody found my ink pad? Not even just paper. Where's my beloved ink pad? This ink pad is 16 years old, I reckon. 16, 17 years old. Company doesn't exist anymore. And I kept saying that this is like my favorite brown ink pad and I'll never have another brown ink pad that I like as much. And I only have the brown from the whole range, and I wish that I had had the whole selection because I loved it. And somebody was like, I just found it for you. There's a store that still has them. Okay, so these things happen. If there's something you really, really love, somebody will have it. I bet you. Bet you anything. Somebody out there has got it. It's just like those red shoes that I had to put the eBay alert on. By the way, if you saw that post, my son had a pair of shoes in size 7 that he loved, and then when I bought them, I kind of wished that I had bought them in every size, but I hadn't, and ended up needing to put an eBay alert on them. He's now wearing the size 8, and I have size 11 and 12 already from eBay sitting in the cupboard. And guess what came up this week? Size 10. So I just need to find size 9, and I will have every size. Okay. Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing rest of your day, night, whatever time zone it is, whatever time of day it is for you in your corner of the world, and I will see you soon. Remember, we're not back live in class until Tuesday, but I'll be live on Facebook Friday and Monday scrapping. See you soon. Bye-bye.